Today, four pillars of college basketball's legacy collide. Ohio State won it all back in 1960 and has been the runner-up 4 times in 10 Final Four appearances. North Carolina boasts 6 national titles and an incomparable coaching lineage. The Tar Heels are the defending champions.
This year, the confetti is going to fall for North Carolina.
UCLA holds the best resume with 11 national championships. However, these Bruins are a young team seeking to recapture those glory days. Kentucky rounds out the field. John Calipari has reloaded and once again is looking to add to the Wildcats' fabled history.
The Kentucky coronation is complete.
4 teams, 2 games, 26 championship rings. Welcome to the CBS Sports Classic.
Here we go. Does it get any better than this? Big time jam! Oh, how that? Spectacular! You better believe it!
All right, ho, 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 and hello, everyone. I'm Adam Zucker, and welcome to Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance. Let's set our lineup for you today on CBS. In 30 minutes, you'll see Game 1 of the annual CBS Sports Classic, a matchup of college basketball's legendary powers, Ohio State and number 5, North Carolina. Then Game 2, UCLA takes on number 7, Kentucky. But as we've seen this season, Legacy can't hit a 3 or keep you from turning the ball over. All 4 of these teams have had a very up-and-down season, as witnessed by North Carolina's shocking loss to Wofford on Wednesday. Roy Williams called it disgusting. Joining me are my studio partners.
Speaking of disgusting.
The voice you just heard, Clark Kellogg, and alongside Seth Davis. And yeah, it's time to start smoothing things out here, Clark.
No doubt about it, but when you've got new young players and expanding roles, you're going to have growing pains. But I've got a prediction for both of you right now.
Ooh.
Of these 4 teams, OSU will be the most surprising, and the Kentucky Wildcats will take on the characteristic of yeast because they're going to do the most rising.
Ah.
All right?
He loves the food analogies. I'm
Yeah.
trying to digest what he said, but you talk about all the ingredients this time of year. I'll give you a couple others. The holidays, final exams, quote-unquote lesser opponents. These teams like North Carolina finding out if you're not ready to play, you can lose at any time. Happy holidays.
You guys talk about food and I gain weight. It's a pattern around here. All right, let's break down our first matchup, starting with the Tar Heels playing game number 3,000 in program history. Joel Berry back for more here, Clark.
Yeah, and he's the guy that makes this team go. Obviously, a terrific scorer, and he's got to orchestrate and be the maestro for their transition game. I'd like to see Berry become more proficient at early attacks, looking not only for his own shot, but putting pressure on the defense by attacking with the dribble and creating opportunities for his teammates. For some reason, I think they're going to be hyped and amped up for this game today.
And bringing a lot of that energy to the offensive glass, which despite some of their personnel losses from their championship team, really is still very much a part of their DNA. They're 17th in the country in offensive rebound percentage, and they just got bigger because Cam Johnson, who was a 6'8" senior transfer from the University of Pittsburgh, was hurt early in the year, just came back for that game against Wofford, so even more size in the front court, and that's going to be a big-time advantage for them today.
But they are mad after that loss to Wofford. Here's Allie LaForce, who spoke with North Carolina head coach Roy Williams earlier.
Coach, no team ever likes to lose, but those moments can be teachable moments for a basketball program. What did your team learn from the loss to Wofford this week?
We learned we got our butts beat by not playing well is the biggest thing. We didn't have the sense of urgency that Wofford did. Weren't as good defensively, weren't as good on the backboards, turned it over more than we wanted to. It was, and give part of the credit for them. It wasn't just us out there playing by ourselves, but they outplayed us in almost every single area there is, and we've got to find out if we can bounce back.
You did get Cam Johnson back in the lineup this week. How is the team different with him, and what can you expect from him today?
You know, I don't know, Allie. I think that one thing, we got him in. I was thinking about trying to play him about 12 minutes. He got 17. His body appears to have handled it well, but still he's only had one more day of practice since then. I probably think it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks before we can really see the real Cam Johnson and really have any expectations. But we'll give him a chance to get out there again today and see what happens.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck today.
Thanks, Allie.
Now, I've been knowing Roy Williams a long time. Believe me when I tell you, there's a big part of him that is thrilled that they lost that game to Wofford, because he is going to use it time and again. Anytime the rest of the way he doesn't like what he sees, his players get a little bit too full of themselves, he's going to remind them, that's what y'all did against Wofford, and it's going to work. He loves it.
Yeah, he's going to use it again next year when they play at Wofford as part of the little series they got into. As for Ohio State, the Buckeyes are riding a 5-game win streak that began with a 25-point blowout in Madison. And Clark, you said it, Buckeyes are heating up here.
They really are, and a lot of that is due to the play of Keita Bates-Diop. He's a redshirt senior and has really started to assert himself offensively. I mean, this guy has tremendous skill. He can shoot it out to the three-point line. He can make an impact at the defensive end, and it's all about mindset for number 33. And remember, that's a pretty good number in Buckeye lore. But anyway, Keita Bates-Diop is a guy who I think has to be looking to dominate at both ends.
And his roommate, Jayshawn Tate, both of them just graduated, by the way, got their degrees. Jayshawn Tate, I think he might be my second favorite all-time Buckeye because of what he does next to the basket and away from the basket. He's third on the team in scoring, second in rebounds, second in assists as a 6'4" senior. He's a versatile defender. He's a great finisher, and he's a superior team leader. He really embodies the personality of this team. Really one of the most valuable players, I think, in the country. We don't hear a lot about him, but we're going to see a lot of him today.
No, he's been hot. He's made 30 of his last 39 shots. A short time ago, Allie also caught up with Ohio State head coach Chris Holtmann.
You had a little bit of a rough patch in November, lost some close games, 3 out of 4, but you haven't lost in December yet. Is this team clicking? And if they are, what's working well for them right now?
I think we're getting a little bit better feel for each other's strengths. We knew that would take some time. I think we're understanding a little bit of what we can do well and what we struggle with and working on some of our weaknesses. You know, those early tests are really good for your team if your team handles it the right way. We like to be challenged earlier. It exposes you, and hopefully we've improved from it. We play a terrific team today, so we'll see if we've improved.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck today.
Thanks, Allie.
And, you know, Chris Holtmann got the job in June, replacing Thad Matta for the Buckeyes, and has done a remarkable job in this short time. But he told you there that it's about getting more comfortable with one another. He with the players, they with him, and this is a nice measuring stick. And I think they'll be up to the challenge. The key will be the play of the two guys we just highlighted, Keita Bates-Diop and Jayshawn Tate, and then the ability of C.J. Watson to take care of the basketball.
A big non-conference tilt today in New Orleans. And a reminder, the road to the Final Four continues on CBS Sports Network Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern when top-ranked Villanova visits DePaul. When we come back, we'll break down freshman sensation Trae Young's big night and preview some more. Number 7 Kentucky and UCLA coming up later today. Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance, is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, your first-round pick for car insurance, and by AT&T.
NC State, powered by their all-purpose player Naheem Hines, battles Arizona State at the Hyundai Sun Bowl next Friday on CBS.
North Carolina's Luke May leads the Tar Heels in scoring and rebounding. The junior forward is averaging a double-double with 19 and 10 a game. Kentucky fans know all about him from last year's tournament meeting. Game 2 of our doubleheader today is UCLA and 7th-ranked Kentucky. The Wildcats coming off their best win of the season, putting up 93 against Virginia Tech, and 21 of those by one of their new freshman sensations, Kevin Knox.
Yeah, he to me is their most dynamic offensive player, certainly their most versatile offensive player. They can post him up. He can step a little bit behind the three-point line. He's only making about 33% from behind the arc, but I've seen enough of him in high school and in practice with Kentucky to know that he is actually a better shooter than that. And I think as the season goes on, he'll be more comfortable in that role. And they're going to need that from him because they're still a little bit unsettled at the point guard spot. They're going to need guys who can go get their own.
Yeah, exactly. And they do a nice job on the glass, too, when you talk about Kentucky, because they play in transition best, and they also do a nice job attacking in the half court. And when you post up, drive the ball, you're going to get opportunities for second shot chances. And Kentucky does a really nice job. They're not very wide, but they all are bouncy and long, and they use that length and bounce to get to second shot so quick off their feet. And they're pressing a little more to try to keep the pace up, which leads to more possessions as well.
They're so young, they're still growing, right?
Yes, they are growing and bouncing.
They're gonna have to get those boards, though. No, that's right, the yeast. Watch it rise today. All right, as for UCLA, off the court, the fallout from a trip to China earlier this season continues. The school announcing that freshmen Jalen Hill and Cody Riley, who were caught shoplifting, along with now former Bruin LeAngelo Ball, have been suspended for the entire season. They will be able to practice with the team, however, after Christmas. And one of the things they got to work on practicing and playing the rest of them is eliminating those turnovers, Clark.
What do you have to do with the orange, Seth?
Got to squeeze it.
Got to squeeze it if you want juice. And for me, UCLA is a really good offensive team. They're young, but the issue has been they've been Cali casual with the pumpkin. Cali casual, just careless passes.
I agree.
Careless passes, not looking at the defense, assuming that the ball is going to get where you throw it. No zip. If they handle that, and they've shown they can do it, just not consistently, when they take care of the ball and make sure Welsh gets his touches, they're a really good offensive team.
Yeah, and, you know, Kentucky's licking their chops, getting after him in that regard.
Yeah.
And the reason why Thomas Welsh isn't getting the ball is because you can't throw the ball if you don't have the ball. And the pressure that the guards have been facing have kept Thomas Welsh's impact to a minimum, and he has the potential to be a maximum impact player. You see him making the outside shot. He can go underneath. He can defend a little bit, guarding ball screens. He's second in the league in rebounds and 8th in the league in blocks. So he is a very strong, big body, but he can't be effective unless he has the ball.
All right, it's going to be the 5th meeting in the last 4 seasons between UCLA and Kentucky later on. All right, turning to the scoreboard. Some teams remaining undefeated last night as we check out some of the top 10 action, and that includes Villanova, who now has 8 wins away from home, more than anyone in the country. Arizona State, Bobby Hurley has gotten them from unranked to number 3 in no time. Miami, 10-0 for the first time in 10 years, and Xavier moving to 12-1 with a night's road win over on CBS Sports Network. But video-worthy, Trae Young at it again, scoring and sharing, Clark.
My goodness, I tell you what, he's on pace to do something that hasn't happened in college basketball. Lead the country in scoring and assists in the same year. This guy has it all. Skill, feel for the game, confidence and swagger. And the way Oklahoma plays, wide open and free-flowing, I think his numbers are going to continue to pile up.
He plays the game with such creative artistry. And to me, his passing is even more impressive than his scoring, and that's saying a lot given his shooting range. And let me tell you something. His teammates are really good. Oklahoma is a very, very good team.
Yes.
So the fact that he's been able to accrue these kind of statistics while making his team better, Oklahoma's going to be a very, very tough out.
Do you like Trey-tastic or Trey Mendes? Which one for
He's terrific.
Okay, all right.
If you call one of their games, you're going to have to use even more than that, right?
Yeah, we will.
You need the
You'll have a lot of opportunities because he's making a lot of baskets.
Leading the nation in points and assists. All right, now a look at this week's headlines in college basketball. LeVar Ball said Wednesday that he is launching the Junior Basketball Association, a league for nationally ranked players who have graduated from high school but don't want to go to college. Texas A&M's Admon Gilder will be sidelined the next 2 to 3 weeks as he recovers from a knee injury. USC has ruled DeAnthony Melton ineligible as the school continues a probe into the sophomore's alleged connection to the college basketball bribery case. The NCAA on Monday delivered a notice of allegations to the University of Oregon, which included the men's basketball program. And sadly, our friend, legendary broadcaster Dick Enberg, died Thursday at the age of 82. For decades, Enberg was the voice at various times of tennis, the NFL, and especially college basketball. We will have much more on his legendary career between games. But, guys, some of the fondest memories that you have of Mr. Enberg.
Well, first, I'll express my condolences to Barbara and the Enberg family and friends as well. But for me, it was not just about his skill and as a broadcaster and storyteller. It was the spirit of Dick Enberg. What a blessing to have worked with him. A joy to have listened to him. And you think about his spirit: enthusiastic, effervescent, curious, kind, optimistic. And anytime I was in his company, I felt good. And beyond what skill you have, people remember how you make them feel. And Dick made all of us feel great whenever we were in his presence.
I mean, I can't put any better than that. That was amazing. I mean, I was just with him not even 2 months ago. We did a panel with Jim Nantz in Houston for the 50th anniversary of the Houston-UCLA game. Of course, he called that game, launched his career. To your point, he still couldn't believe he got the chance to call that game. 50 years later, his sense of surprise and wonder and everything that unspooled in his career. So to me, that's going to be his personal legacy. I hope I never lose that sense of wonder.
Always a twinkle, always a joy and enthusiasm.
Amazed by everything around him. And I just remember you could always hear the kindness in his call.
Big time.
When he was doing the job, amidst the intensity, always the kindness. When we return, in the spirit of giving, it is the holiday season, which means gifts from Seth and Clark. Coming up. You are watching Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive on CBS.
Top-ranked Villanova looks to light up the scoreboard as they face DePaul. Wednesday at 7:30 on CBS Sports Network.
Ohio State's Keita Bates-Diop not only leads the Buckeyes in scoring and rebounding, the junior forward is third in the Big Ten in scoring and second in rebounding, trailing Jordan Murphy of Minnesota, the leader in both categories. It is the holiday season, and with just 2 days until Christmas, we asked the college basketball community about their favorite holiday memories.
Favorite holiday memory is
the big wheel with the handbrake on the thing. You could lay the tracks when you'd ride that around. You're probably too young, but a big wheel was something that, you'd pedal fast.
I got a little hamster. His name was Sam. It was my first pet.
When I was 8, I got the official Earl Campbell Houston Oilers football uniform.
I got him when I was real little, but I didn't take very good care of him, so he died.
It's the 1981 Topps complete baseball card set. It was one of the greatest things, and I didn't realize it was in a Vans box with a hole in it.
I got a scooter when I was younger, but the worst part was in the morning when I woke up, I found it, and I found out from the night before that my parents were actually driving the scooter around my house.
The number 34 baby blue with a little red and white trim on the sleeves.
I woke up Christmas morning and I heard a knock on our door, and I opened our apartment door, and there was a huge bag of gifts.
I learned how to shoot a BB gun was probably one of my best Christmases.
Like 6th grade is when the first iPod Touch came out. The day I got it, I accidentally forgot to take it out of my pants pocket, and I washed my pants.
The football pants with the pads, because my thighs were still sticks.
My uncle was a drummer, and then my mom got me a drum set when I was 9, and he taught me how to play, and, I wish I had one now. It'd probably be a great stress relief.
I remember it, obviously, like it happened yesterday.
I still believe there's a real Santa.
Love it. Remember to empty your pockets, kids. All right, that take you back to any childhood flashbacks from the holiday times, guys?
For me, my late dad, got me a nice NFL football one Christmas, and I couldn't wait to get out there and play with my buddies in the snow on Christmas Day.
Snow football. Love it.
Favorite memory every year. Can't wait again this year. Watching the best movie ever made. It's a Wonderful
One of my
Life.
favorites, too.
No man is a failure who has friends.
There you go.
He live tweets the whole thing, by the way. In case you can't see it on TV, you can watch Seth tweet it.
Yes.
We got some snow for you here, Clark.
Yes, we do. I love it. Christmas time.
And in the spirit of gift giving for the holidays, the guys have some special gifts they'd like to hand out to some teams in need of a little bit of holiday cheer or maybe a Christmas bonus.
Yeah, let me be a gift giver. First of all, you look ridiculous in that hat. Let me say for Kansas, hey, Christmas came early. I wanted to give them another big man. They got one, Silvio D'Souza, a high school senior. He's going to be eligible for their game at Texas. Indiana fans, be patient. The wins will come. Give Archie time. They lost this week to Fort Wayne after that big win over Notre Dame. Going to need a lot of patience. Purdue, I'll admit, I'm becoming emotionally invested in Purdue getting back to the Final Four. They haven't been there since 1980, the year before Gene Cady got there. This is a team that could do it. I know they have a great fan base. I hope they do get there. TCU, I love to tease Jamie Dixon. A road game. They win the NIT last year. They bring everybody back. They have not played a road game and won't play one until January the 2nd at Baylor. Jamie, take your team out, play a road game. And finally, with Chris Mack and Mick Cronin, they had a little spat after the game, Cincy and Xavier. A little peace pipe.
I like
Smoke
that.
it out. Namaste, getting the holiday spirit.
namaste.
But then next year, get back at it and get chippy again.
Yeah,
like
get the players out of the talking, too.
Nice goodie bag there, Seth, for Arizona State. High octane from unranked to number 3 in the rankings. Another rim protector would help that turnover forcing defense. For Duke, how about some rapid ripening dust? A lot of young guys trying to figure it out as they go. Great talent, but still young. So if they could get more mature quicker, a shot clock for replay review. The players have to deal with the shot clock. The coaches do. I think instant replay review should have a shot clock.
Yeah.
For Missouri, how about a Christmas card shout out? Everybody left this team for dead when Michael Porter Jr. got injured. All they've done is won 10 of 12. 9 guys are averaging double-digit minutes. Everybody contributing, assisting on 63% of their buckets. Well done, Konzo, Martin, and staff. And for Northwestern, confidence and resolve. They've lost 2 games by a total of 62 points to Texas Tech and Oklahoma. In those games, didn't handle adversity really well. I think this is a really good team. Just need to be confident and stay together.
Yeah, well, one member of their team handled just a little bit of success very well, because speaking of Northwestern, fan favorite Charlie Hall, a walk-on and famously the son of Julia Louis-Dreyfus, delivered a tweet for the ages after scoring his first career point Tuesday night, making the middle of 3 free throws for his 1 point, juxtaposed with Wilt Chamberlain's 100.
History.
Pictures are worth 1,000 words.
Oh,
Nothing
man.
to add to that.
He inherited the comedic chops from mom. That's awesome. All right, when we return, scores and highlights and the latest forecast as we look at today's games and a few final thoughts on our opening game of the CBS Sports Classic between Ohio State and number 5, North Carolina.
Get the CBS Sports app to watch live college basketball every weekend, whether you're at home or on the road.
Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance, is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, your first-round pick for car insurance, and by AT&T.
All right, welcome back to Inside College Basketball, presented by Progressive Insurance. This season marks the 25th anniversary of Coaches vs. Cancer, a collaboration of the American Cancer Society and National Association of Basketball Coaches. For 25 years, fans, players, and coaches have made an amazing impact, raising over $110 million. But the fight is not over. Please text CVC to 41444 and help attack cancer from every angle. All right, let's get back to the scoreboard here one more time before tip-off. And Wake Forest, Clark, going for their 7th win in a row, hosting Tennessee.
7 lead changes in this one, guys. Back and forth we go. Lamonte Turner, all 3 of those. And then Keyshawn Woods going to knock down the long 3 for Wake Forest. Lead to the Demon Deeps. James Daniel III. It's a 3-point party down there in Winston-Salem, at least on the highlights.
The Vols by 1. Their 4th game against an ACC team this year, including the loss to North Carolina this past Sunday. All right, getting a little chippy between a Seton Hall team that just lost to Rutgers last week and the Jaspers set.
Nothing like a little neighborhood rivalry to get everybody in the holiday spirit. As we'll see, we got a couple of buckets here from the sophomore guard, Miles Powell. And if there's one guy in college basketball I would not recommend tangling with, it's Angel Delgado from Seton Hall. Look at him get into it with Zane Waterman from Manhattan. A little bit of a scrum. I'm actually kind of surprised Waterman actually did not get ejected, but Powell and also Rich Williams from Manhattan, they were both ejected, but everybody got together, had a little bit of eggnog, got ready for the holidays.
That's not confirmed. That's not confirmed.
Not confirmed.
That's not confirmed.
I'm recommending it.
But I hear you on Waterman. Seton Hall up by 21 right now. Meanwhile, West Virginia going for their first 11-game win streak in 8 years. They're on top right now. Dan Marley's team down 1 against Louisville, BC, and Georgetown with double-digit leads. All right, the Buckeyes and Tar Heels are about to tip off in New Orleans, the first game of our CBS Sports Classic, guys. Some final thoughts here as we take a look at the eye test.
First thing, Ohio State should be prepared for North Carolina's defensive intensity, taking care of the ball off of that loss for Washington.
And then transition defense for the Buckeyes a must, because you know Carolina wants to pedal to the metal in terms of baskets in the open court. Take care of the ball, Buckeyes. Keita Bates-Diop, rise up and get busy, and the Bucks have a chance.
And they know they're facing a North Carolina team that is coming in grumpy, Seth.
Yes, they are, and you saw Luke May and Cam Johnson, I think, should need to have a good scoring game for North Carolina. I do expect them to win and ruin Clark's Christmas.
11 minutes till game time for Ohio State and number 5, North Carolina. Brad Nessler, Bill Raftery, and Allie LaForce will have the call after this message and a word from your local station.